Nate, have you seen that Pete Hegseth has come out with a few statements, a few new ideas, or perhaps rehashing slightly older ideas that for some reason have been thrown away in recent years? And as well as that, is called a big meeting of all the top brass in the US military. And apparently the Donald is going to be in attendance, and we'll see how that plays out. But among other things, a few things to mention about Hegseth at the moment. That he wants to have higher standards of fitness in the military.
Yeah, he's gone. He's basically gone scorched earth, I guess, as it was, as the kids say, scorched earth, and quite rightly so. I think the Western world has rested on their laurels for too long now, and standards have slipped. Right, like the erosion of standards has slipped. It's not just in America; it's slipped everywhere. Seems to be an acutely left-wing thing, and that's what happens when you push for equality. Meritocracy goes out the window, and then the best of the best then come through, and blah 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 blah. But he's gone. I mean, he's gone proper scorched earth. This was probably one of the funniest ones. It's unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. So I think we'll watch this because this is hilarious and well worth checking out.
With physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations or really any formation and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already.
I love it. I don't see an issue with this. I don't understand how anyone could see an issue with this. It's military. You should be fit and active. Just being a person, you should be fit and active. Being a person, right? We need to be fit and active. I would love a job that pays me to be fit and active. That'd be amazing. What a gift. People are like, this is for those that don't know, I have a background in personal training, teaching anatomy and physiology, and also competing as a bodybuilder. People often view health and fitness as something which is, so I'm going to get all preachy a little bit here, but sod it. People view health and fitness as something which is a punishment. It's not a punishment. How lucky are you to say you can go to the gym, move your body around, be fit and active, right? Like, it's incredibly lucky. Some people are born with a completely degenerative spine and they can't move. You are lucky to be able to do feats of physical prowess. It's luck. It's good. It's a blessing, right? I would love a job that pays me to do stuff like that. I mean, I can do it anyway, but it's not a punishment. This is great.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to keep some sort of level to get like obese or even morbidly obese is terrible. It's really obviously physically it's terrible, but like it speaks of your character that you're you're lazy and degenerate on some level. Sorry to say it, if that's a really harsh reality for anyone out there. The only thing I'll say is when you get very old, because the older you get, the sort of the heavier you are and the more difficult it is to keep a metabolism running high. So when people do get old and they form a belly, and like maybe you've got knackered hips and knees or something, and it's genuinely hard to do cardio and stuff. Okay, all right, to some degree, okay. But you're young or even in your 40s or 50s, and there's nothing wrong with your hips or your knees or your ankles or whatever, and you're just super heavy because you eat too much and are sedentary, that's bad. You shouldn't do that. That's bad. And if you're in the military, even if you're a general, a brigadier general, or a 4-star general, yeah, it's totally not good enough. Yeah, he's right. Hegseth is right. You're supposed to be an ambassador in some sense for your military. So if you're slovenly or terribly out of shape, yeah, it's not good enough. Yeah, it's not good enough. No, I completely agree with him.
Yeah. How can you sit there, stand there, commanding forces, telling them they need to be the best of the best, whilst you can't even see your genitals? I mean, that's just absurd. Like, it's actually absurd. It's laughable. And as you said, you know, if you've got nothing wrong with you, and you are obese, it does speak to your character. It speaks to your attitude and your mindset. If you don't even look after yourself, how can you be expected to look after the country, right? Because that's what they do, right? Like, standards. It's all about standards. They're just slipping away. There was some more stuff that he said. This was one of them. So
this, and I want to be very clear about this. This is not about preventing women from serving. We very much value the impact of female troops. Our female officers and NCOs are the absolute best in the world. But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result. So be it. It will also mean that weak men won't qualify because we're not playing games. This is combat. This is life or death. Yeah. As we all know, this is you versus an enemy hell-bent on killing you. To be an effective, lethal fighting force, you must trust that the warrior alongside you in battle is capable, truly physically capable of doing what is necessary under fire. You know, this is the only standard you would want for your kids and for your grandkids. Apply the War Department Golden Rule, the 1990 test, and the E6 test, and it's really hard to go wrong.
Another perfectly reasonable, justifiable statement to make. It's going to be tough, and men will fail it as well as women. And that's the way it is, because it is a case of life or death. You're not playing with toys in the back garden, right? The backyard, you know. Yeah, good. That's fine. Yeah, like that's great. Yeah. Like, no, not every job should be for everyone. Obviously, equality is a complete myth, right? It's a complete myth. Everyone has the opportunity to try, but not everyone can, right? Not everyone can. Not everyone can. And that's fine, right? You'll be better suited to something else. Go find your calling.
I just completely agree with everything he said. There's a thing in, when you read enough military history, particularly modern 20th century military history, loads and loads of accounts from World War I, World War II, Vietnam, whatever. And quite often what they say, very, very often, is what they say is, once you get into firefights and actually see hot combat, politics goes out the window, and even the lots of the military ethos can go out the window. What matters is the guy next to you.
Yeah.
What matters is the guy you're sharing a foxhole with. I was reading a very famous book the other day about the Eastern Front in World War II. And he was saying that after like a few days, no one talks about National Socialism anymore. Nobody talks about Hitler and Goering anymore. Nobody even talks about division, i.e. top brass, and what the orders are. All that you care about is the enemy in front of you, whether you live or die, and the guy next to you, and whether you can save his life and whether he can save your life. It's reduced to that very, very quickly. Okay, so there's that. Secondly, exactly what he said. If a woman can hack it in the Navy SEALs, in the Airborne Rangers, or in Britain in the Parachute Regiment, or any sort of infantry, any real combat frontline combat role. If a woman can hack it physically, fine. All right, fine. Very few will. There's a very interesting clip. I think it's got millions of views. I've seen it more than once pop up on, and it was a guy, Special Forces. I can't remember if American Special Forces. I think he might have been Navy SEALs, and he said, "You put a 150-pound pack on a woman and tell her to jog for like 10 hours. It's not happening." By the way, the vast majority of men can't do that. I couldn't do that. I'm too old and shit and knackered to do that. By a long way. That's a young man's shit. That's like a 19-year-old, 22-year-old in peak physical condition can do that. Hardly anyone else. If you're super fit, up to like 30, maybe. Right? That's a very, very young man with high testosterone in the peak of fitness can do that. No one else. Hardly anyone else. One or two women. Very, 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 very rare. If they can hack it and can do it, fine. Fine. And that is exactly, he said, as he said, it is what it is. So be it. It's the same with, people said the same about football, soccer, as Americans call it. Right? If there's a woman out there that can actually compete in the Premier League and can earn her place in the first team of Man City or Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea, fine. But there isn't, because the physical standard is insanely high. Insanely high. The skill and physical ability is insanely high. 99.99999% of men can't do it. It's only for the very best of the best. It's the same with racing. I love my F1 and all sorts of racing. If there's a woman out there that can match lap times with the likes of Charles Leclerc or Verstappen or Hamilton, fine, give them a seat. There isn't, because it's a tiny, tiny slither of human beings in the world that are competitive at that. And they're all men, or 99.999% men. It is what it is. It is what it is. They had a women's league in, it wasn't Formula One, it was in a slightly lower type of car. And it was clown shoes. I'm sorry, it was clown shoes. Like women's rugby, like women's soccer, like women's basketball. It was clown shoes. That's just I'm not trying to be out of order for the sake of it. And
no, you can't
so
go.
let's apply that to combat, please.
Yeah, you can't escape biology. It is just a fact. That's what they've tried to do, is circumvent biological reality. And then this was a good one as well. So just one of the final ones to sort of end on here.
This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department, to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that. This administration has done a great deal from day one.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. Just not messing about anymore. That was insane, toxic nonsense that weakened us. Yeah. Cut it out. Throw it away. Put it in a medical bin. Yeah. Good. Great.
Well, as he says, it's just a distraction. That's what it is, right? Like, what are you there to do? Were you there to fight people? Right. Okay. Why are you caring about Pride months then? What is going on? Why are you talking about climate change? Stop. You're there to do one job. Kill people. That's what you do in the forces. That's what you train to do, to kill people. You shouldn't be caring about the climate. That's ridiculous. It's absurd. Stay in your lane and be good at it.
To be successful on the battlefield, right? Having dudes in dresses, having an admiral, a cross-dressing admiral, it's not good. It's not conducive. It's a distraction. It's a detriment. Yeah, no, absolutely. One last thing I'll say, just while we're talking about Hegseth, and defense and things. At the moment, they've called a big meeting, as I mentioned at the top of the segment, all about some of the top priorities, all the generals and admirals being called into one place. And apparently Trump's going to be there, and he said things like, I'm just going to fire on the spot anyone I don't like. In other words, again, just cutting out and throwing away those weird cuckoos that have got into the nest. Great. It's what's necessary. It's absolutely what's needed. Good stuff. Good on them. Good on them. I wish we do it in the British military. We need to.
Yeah, 100% we do. Love this tweet. The look on the dude's faces when Hegseth tells them they have to start doing PT now. And this is what you're saying. They've all been called to this sort of town hall event to be commanded, to be spoken to be served orders and instructions, basically. And yeah, as you said, like Trump basically on the warpath, as well as Hegseth on the warpath. Yeah, like just cut it out. Cut this cancer out. It's a rot. It's an infection that needs to be removed. Cauterize it. Cut it out. Cauterize the wound. Get on with things.